This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Grace.
And we are at the halfway point. I guess we're just over the halfway point of our Animalia arc. We're in the second half, and we are just as confused, if not more confused than we were before the game even started.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a whole other ballpark. We're in a whole other sport.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a different sport. We started off at the ball game and with baseball, and now we're like, I don't know, we're on a luge, you know? Like, we don't know how we got here. Why is it winter?
It's winter now. We're outside. There are no balls anywhere or bats.
No, we're getting in a toboggan instead. We're jumping around. We don't know what's happening.
Speeding down those slopes. Yeah. So for those who tuned in last week to our episode, Grace mentioned towards the end of it, I think. Did you mention that before or after we recorded? I forget. I think you mentioned
it was on air. It was on air. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. That today's episode is going to tie right into last week's episode, and I can't wait because we thought this show was not going to be like an overall arc of a story, but maybe today's continues the arc that we were not expecting to see. Yeah. And I can't wait, Grace. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I've tried to clear my mind so that I'm not overwhelmed, but I know I will be.
You will be. So and I think it's less so that it continues the distinct arc from your last episode that the writers wrote. And instead, it continues our arc, our personal arc of some philosophical questions about this show. And, I think we just have to let, Core take the wheel, if you will. Jesus, take the wheel on this one.
Or just take the wheel.
On these deep philosophical questions. But my main... While I was writing this episode before, listening to yours, I was just like, this is too real of an episode for 2025. What the fuck were these writers up to? But then you had your entire episode last week of... The dictatorship, the Bill of Rights, is the core, the fabric of the universe and or God. And you know what? I'm just going to start right off by telling you the title of this episode, Alexis.
Yeah.
Which is season 2, episode 5, entitled Nothing But the Truth.
Oh, boy. Well. One of those Bill of Rights in my first episode was about the truth or something like that.
Yeah. So
shows how well I studied them.
We swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help us, Core. Yeah. Where's the right hand on the Bible? What's on the Bible?
You put your right hand on the Bible, I think, and your
left hand up.
Every oath I've had to take was virtual, so it's kind of different. So I don't remember.
There fucking around.
It was over Zoom, so I don't know. I don't remember.
It was backwards when I was looking at it later. It was confusing.
I was like, oh, oopsies. I was the only one lifting the wrong hand. Anyways.
Am I even a lawyer? Uh-oh.
Yeah, oh, no. Am I technically fired from my job? Am I treasonous? I don't know. We'll find out. Anyways.
This episode might tell us. Who's to say?
We'll see.
Who's to say? So we start off, Alexis, in the town hall situation with our dictator, Livingston, as we established last episode, as he said himself, the government.
Long may he reign.
Long may Livingston reign. And Livingston, as usual, is tinkering away at that pesky core that even here in season 2 still hasn't figured itself out yet. They haven't figured it out yet. Apparently, it's still shooting out those core spores willy-nilly.
Great.
Just no rhyme, no reason, apparently.
They need something to write about.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep it going. And Rini comes in this morning and is shocked to still find him there. It's like the wee hours in the morning. It's dawn. He's got bags under his eyes. And she immediately reprimands him for pulling yet another all-nighter trying to heal the core. And she says, like, she'll take over for a while and starts to shoo him out of the building so he can go get some rest, go to bed. And after he shuffles out and gets on his bike, and I'm pausing to laugh because his bike is like, I like don't know what these bikes are actually called. I could have looked it up, but like those little kid bikes that like have the really big wheels in the front with like the really big, it's like with like the big handles and you're like leaning way back.
I think of like the Charlie Chaplin type of bike or whatever from way back when.
It's that. Yeah. That's what he's riding.
Okay. What year is it in Animalia? What?
How soon are they off those hieroglyphs from your episode and back to biking this episode?
Yeah. Well, because also like remember the Warthogs have like ATVs. Yeah. So they have motorized,
vehicles. Yeah, Allegra was on a hoverboard last
I don't know what the fuck that was, but I thought about saying that. I was like, no. Think of the more obvious thing.
It's okay. That's what I thought of too. I said, "What is this, sir?"
Interesting.
Anyways, he starts to ride off on that situation. And Tyrannicus, aka Tyra the tiger, storms up fully yet again in his tiger pelt coat that he is wearing fully buttoned up. So power move, I guess. A threat. Who's to say? Yeah. But Tyra storms up to Livingston and says that he has a bone to pick with him. And Rini, who's watching all this, just like rolls her eyes and lets him have it. Livingston also rolls his eyes and starts biking away. And so, like, very slowly and like lazily, but like Tyra has to like jog next to him to keep up, which is like very funny. He's like trying to talk to him, like, wait, stop, stop biking away. I'm trying to talk to you. And as he runs alongside Livingston, Tyra says that those stink bugs, which like he means Alex and Zoe, the humans, are putting him, Tyra, out of business. And I don't know, he starts like bitching and moaning about like the fact basically that he's trying to lie all the time and like they're just uncovering all of his like scams more or less, but like in like less
the
obvious.
Consumer Protection Financial Bureau, like, God, they're slowing down business in America.
God, get Doge in here, shut it down.
Yeah, right.
Is the energy, perhaps. But
nice. That
Livingston,
sounds like Tyra.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, truly. So Livingston though just waves him off and keeps grumbling that like they can just talk about this some other time. He's yawning on that there bike. Seems not safe to be driving. But he's, just waving Tyra off. And he's like, look, dude, like, we can talk about this some other times. I am so tired. I need to go get some rest. Like, I am tired. Get it through your head. And eventually, literally just like, whatever, Tyrannicus, and bikes off, leaving him in the dust. And Tyra, of course, is pissed that he was just whatevered, as if he was not somebody very important, which he thinks he is.
It's like, excuse me, sir, I donated big bucks to your campaign. I deserve a word.
I deserve a private moment, sir.
Yes.
I ensured that no one else was running against you.
Yes.
And maybe put a little pin in that, kind of, for running mates and opponents later on. But
okay.
Unfortunately, as you and I know, and Livingston deep down knows, but he's just too tired, we know that Tyra, unfortunately, is a tiger of action. So that very same day, we cut to the newsroom and, the butterfly screens broadcasting across Animalia to hear the latest news report from our two naked mice who are crazy.
Nude. Somebody here is nude.
Our nudist mice, Veronica Corningstone and Ron Burgundy.
Yes, indeed.
And they are here with breaking news. They are here to report in on the alleged rumor that their leader, Livingston, is planning to step down from his position.
Oh no. You can't spread rumors like that in a dictatorship. That's literally how like civil wars start. Okay. Gonna let you go on ahead.
Friends and family will fall apart. So they cut to an interview with their not so anonymous source because he can't keep away from the camera. We see Tyra
Hmm.
being interviewed and retelling his tale that yes, Livingston told Tyra himself that very morning that Livingston needed rest and wanted to retire.
Mm,
Not just that he was tired, but that he was going to
tired. Yeah,
retire.
this is tabloid journalism.
This is yellow journalism, true as can
Yeah.
be here. And we have a classic he said situation here, like the
Hmm.
good tabloids have. We cut to one of the, Veronica now interviewing Livingston, who is laying in a hammock, waving off the rumors with a yawn, saying, "No, no, that's not what I said. I said I am tired. Not that I want to retire, please. I love my job."
Mm, yeah.
Tyrannicus, he's simply lying. So an
Uh-oh.
accusation has now been made.
Oh,
You
gotta
think
go
Tyra's
get
going to
the other
back
side on the
down?
record. No.
Like a good journalist, Ron Burgundy, we cut to
On
immediately
the case.
Mike in Tyra's face saying, "What does he have to say about these new accusations?"
Uh-huh.
And Tyra,
Hmm.
of course, looks so hurt and distraught. He's never lied a day in his life. Although hilariously, he says, "Name one time." And Ron Burgundy starts to like respond, and Tyra just talks over
Yeah.
him smartly. But he
Yes.
basically says, "I've never lied a day in my life. I'm hurt that our leader would throw such low blows." Yeah. When he
Mm.
goes low, I, Tyra, go high.
I'm gonna go high. We take the high ground.
And
Yes.
he thinks that the news should stop reporting on this fake drama here, on these lies. And they should just let
Ye-
the old lion retire and peace. Like to retire in peace and let new blood, like, I don't know, me
What?
over. No, Alexis, do
No.
you have a problem with Tyra saying the news should stop reporting on accusations?
Well, no, just on like the you guys
Of
gotta stop
Tyra calling
reporting on
the
this
kettle black.
whole thing. Exactly. I was like, dude, you're the one that planted this story. You guys gotta stop. This is just a distraction, okay? Just let our dictator retire in peace. But sir, you're the one who told us he wanted to retire.
And
No one
now,
else is
as
saying
my
this.
first speech
Yes.
as the new dictator, perhaps, just a
Perhaps,
thought.
maybe, just like planting that seed in people's minds so they have no other choice. Why not go from one big cat to another big cat? Come on, it's a
Exactly.
peaceful transition of power.
That's
We
all
basically have the same constituency.
the
Yes.
honest Tyrannicus wants is a
Hmm.
transition to let our dictator retire in peace, like he
In
has
peace.
expressed to me as his next in line,
Exactly. Successor?
as his
Maybe.
successor,
Only if you guys are okay
potentially.
with it. Yeah,
He's really trying to
of
do
course.
a
Hmm.
uh shoot, why can't I think of his name now? Um who's now in charge of Scientology after L. Ron Hubbard? Oh, David
Oh,
Miscavige.
yeah, yeah, I don't know.
He's really
Uh,
pulling a David Miscavige here for L. Ron Hubbard of like not high up actually at all in Scientology, but was at the right place at the right time type of
exactly. It's like,
thing.
hey,
Yeah,
you can
I'm
write a
up now,
sentence, right?
baby.
Come on, you're in charge of
Yep.
this church now.
Church. So, from this ping pong interviewing, it's not just these two reporters who seem to be split on who's telling the truth in this current tale. Like you
Mm.
said, creatures in Animalia are divided too.
Oh no. Oh
This
boy.
includes our besties living in their treehouse.
Mm.
Iggy and Gabooboo
Mm.
split on which story they think is the truth.
Oh no. I bet Iggy's a separatist, that traitor.
Iggy,
I mean, Gububu seems way too loyal to the culture. So I
yeah,
can
you
see
fucking
Iggy,
read
yeah.
Iggy. Film right there, yeah. Iggy is shocked that for once Tyra could be telling the truth.
Why
And
now?
and this is because I said the same thing,
Okay.
but Livingston has told Iggy and commented to Iggy personally, like what a weight ruling is, how it weighs on him, and how
Mm,
exhausted he is. And he knows that Livingston is in fact exhausted because
mm.
we pan up above Iggy and Gabooboo, higher up in their treehouse, where Livingston is taking a nap in a hammock at their
Oh,
treehouse.
oh, wow. I didn't know he could. I'm not gonna lie. I was starting to think he literally could not leave the library.
Some curse. It's like, I actually don't want to be the dictator.
Yeah.
I'm stuck here. Please, someone save me. Timanicus,
Please,
please.
yeah, Tyra, you can have it, please.
But
He's
no,
getting
you'll
annoying.
never be able to leave either. Tis the
Yeah.
curse of ruling. It's a
So that's
metaphor
good
for
to know.
ruling.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yes. But
Hmm.
yeah, so he's taking a nap
And
right there at the
adorable.
treehouse. Yes, so Iggy
Yeah.
does know that that Livingston is exhausted
Hmm.
and looks
Yeah.
so tired.
A little tired.
But Kabubu, meanwhile, blindly believes Livingston, saying that if their leader said someone else was lying, that other person was lying. God damn it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mm.
And they fully start arguing, like full on, like Iggy is hissing at him, like Gabubu is like grunting and starting to like hit his chest at Iggy, which obviously we know who would win in that fight, but still,
Yes,
the
without a
fact that
doubt.
these besties are fighting, basically these brothers are
Yeah.
fighting.
Ooh,
And
and this is crazy. This is a nuanced debate too, because when you put it that way, I actually do agree with Iggy. Although I obviously don't want Tyra to rule this place,
mhm.
Iggy's got a point.
my
You
next
should not be
line
blindly
is
loyal and faithful. Sorry.
My next line is, it's almost like confirmation bias and blindly following a leader isn't the way to consume your news. Anyways,
Anyways, just saying.
yeah.
Interesting.
And I think this point of the episode, I was really thinking about during your last episode of like the philosophical nature of like this insane TV show, making
Yeah.
this insane commentary on like what are rights? Where do they come from? Are they
Yeah. Like,
God-given?
what
Are
is a
they
government?
man-written? What is a
Yeah,
government? What is news? What is truth? Like in
exactly.
2025, we can't be
Where's
diving
these
into this. I'm
exactly
tired.
questions? Yeah, this show's too woke. I don't know. I don't like. I'm tired, Granddad. I'm tired.
I'm
Going
tired of
down,
this,
going down these
granddad.
holes. I'm
We
not
have
digging them.
to live it every day already. Come on now. I just want to
Oh,
watch another
it's hard.
cartoon.
Yeah.
And eventually, Livingston does rest up and he gets back to work on the core. But
Good.
as he's there working away, two of like the two animals, I think it was like two zebras, come in bearing gifts and heartfelt goodbyes to Livingston
Oh, okay.
because
Propaganda is spreading quick.
it fucking like wildfire in here in this here jungle. They've
Yeah.
got literally pillows so he can rest his head on some new
Oh
comfy
my God.
pillows. They're like goodbye. And
Crazy. It's like so detailed and like nice, but also, yeah, it's
also rude as hell.
kind of dark and like, yeah, rude, maybe not dark, but
You get someone
rude.
like some flowers, not like
Old
you look
man.
exhausted. Here's
Yeah.
a cane
Yeah.
while we were at it.
Right.
So,
Oh God.
yes, Livingston is confused and outraged that they believe the rumors. We see a little flash of dictator here because he's befuddled as to why no one would believe him, their leader of Animalia.
Mm.
Why is no one believing what I say at face value?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Alex and Zoe come in just as the zebras are like, oh, he's in denial. Oh, like, oh, how senile he's gotten type of energy. So not,
Yikes. Oh
not
boy.
helping his case.
Also
Yeah,
relatable to the American political
exactly.
discourse. Oh God.
Exactly.
Oh boy, this is elder abuse. We gotta just let this guy step aside.
Gently, maybe ask the core if there are some new laws we should make about age limits,
Yeah,
perhaps taking advantage of the
perhaps, maybe.
elderly. Is that in the Bill
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Rights here?
Oh
So
God.
yes, just as that mummering is happening in the all too real show
Hmm.
of this fictional universe, Animalia,
Yes.
Zoe and Alex are coming in and overhearing all this and seeing Livingston's like frustration. And Zoe, our little freaking genius, straight up explain like
Yeah.
I was like, Zoe is living in 2025. Like this bitch is absolutely living 2025. She essentially is like, look, this is about optics. On the news, Livingston, you were laying in a hammock with bags under your eyes and yawning. Right as Tyra was
Mm,
saying, you looked tired, ready to what? Retire? Laying in a hammock? Like what more is retirement than that? So,
yeah.
Livingston, you've made this easy to believe. Like
Hmm.
you dug yourself this hole right here. So I was like,
Exactly.
is Zoe a campaign manager?
She is.
Like,
She's definitely like a press secretary,
yeah,
like a comms
exactly.
director.
Yeah, she's getting in there to shape this shit up.
So true. She's focus tested the whole jungle.
Yeah, I
She
was like,
knows.
she's a
She knows the
consultant. She's coming in with her business card on this.
yes, exactly.
And as she's saying all this, the core starts rumbling deeply, making
Mm,
Livingston look even more stressed, which is not going to help any upcoming public appearances and yes, PR campaigns
no.
that Zoe's like penning out for him right now. And Livingston starts to explain that spreading lies and lying impacts communications, which is at the core, of course, not the literal core, but the, spiritual core of
Yeah.
Animalia. I
Yeah.
realized as I said
Okay.
that the confusion of using the word core ever in this show.
And the show is tough. Yes.
Yes. And he includes bringing it back to the actual core that too much lying can hurt the truth spore that is contained and controlled by the core. That doesn't necessarily force people to tell the truth in Animalia, because, like, we've seen Tyra. He's not out there telling the truth
Oh yeah.
always. But,
Yeah.
it helps.
Allows them to. Oh, okay.
It's unclear. This is the classic core mystery, but lying hurts it. That's all we know, I
Lying
would say.
hurts it. So the
Yeah, lying
more
hurts the truth.
Animalians, not the core, it hurts the truth, not the core.
Sorry, like the truth spore.
Oh, the true spore.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
gotcha. Okay, so the more
Yeah.
people, animals in Animalia lie, the
The more
more.
harm this truth
Okay,
spore.
so what we're learning here, quick tangent, is
Yes.
that the
World built
core
for us.
can world breakdown. No, I'm confusing the world, not building the world
Oh, we
up.
don't need to build the ship up more. It's already too high.
So, so the core can be impacted by actual actions of animalians, other
Yes.
than just like bumping a book into it. Because before we thought it kind of had this more godly thing where like you can't control when a core spore comes out of it or how many come out of it. But
But
in this case, it sounds like if animalians are actively lying more, this spore can be impacted.
but
This part of
I
the core.
think I think that last half is true, but if you sin, aren't you hurting your God? Aren't you harming your God and overlord, the core, and or whatever other fill in the blank God by going against its
Perhaps
needs?
you're correct.
And thus, as punishment, you will see perhaps what happens when you go against its will, and it will punish you. It is not a forgiving, gracious God, I would say, the core. It is
Yeah,
vengeful,
it's not.
for sure.
Apocalypse is coming. The
And
book of
it's
Revelations is
your own
real.
fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Okay.
we haven't seen like confessionals all up and down this city here
Honestly,
because,
yeah, or any sort of like cleric figure,
yeah,
I guess that would be Livingston
Livingston.
or
Yeah.
Rini, which again, separation of church and state. We've got some
Mm-mm.
issues. Got a lot of
Absolutely not happening here.
interesting. I don't really like the world these animators or this show is painting for children anymore. I don't know. I'm on the fence
No,
about it.
it's dark. Again,
It
like
is.
not directly tied to your last episode, but just like how insane and dark that this show is with
Yeah.
and confusing and
Again,
questions you got to ask.
like if you want to make it just a world of animals having fun and living and going on random shenanigan
Yeah.
adventures and stuff, and the kids coming in and out of their world back
Then
to the animal
fine.
world, fine. That's
Learn
cute.
the
That's awesome.
alphabet
That's
along the
basically Talk
way.
Zone with animals. Exactly. I'm here for it. But this is about the end of a world where the kids
Yeah.
can't seem to escape either.
Yeah. So I
So,
guess, wait, are the kids in hell? Like,
oh yeah, maybe
if the
it's not
kids are
heaven. Maybe we've
dead,
been looking at it the wrong
are they
way.
in purgatory and or hell? Maybe purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
It's
at
yeah, because
best,
it's
it's
just so
purgatory.
nebulous and vague. Like,
Yeah.
I
And
don't
because
know.
it's not, it's not like
It's
eternal
not happy.
glory, if you will. It's not happy. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they're running for their lives on a daily basis.
Yes.
So,
Bad
anyways,
things
I
are
don't know.
happening,
In
basically.
Animalia.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not the good place. It is not the good
That is not
place.
the good place. Absolutely
No.
not.
Uh-uh.
So,
Mm.
as Livingston is explaining all this about the truth spore, the zebras interrupt him, are basically
Hmm.
yeah, like, look, man, you don't have to give some big speech or have some big facade. Like, you can tell us you're leaving. Like, we're your friends. Like, this is a safe space, remember? Like, it's
Hmm.
okay. And Livingston snaps at them again, like, big time snaps when they say, like, you're tired, and says that this is a lie. And at this, which they were kind of telling the truth that he is tired. So did Livingston just lie by calling
Yeah.
them saying he was tired a lie? Because that man, that lion, seen better days. But at
Yeah.
this,
Lion.
the lion over here, the
Mm.
core rumbles and turns green as a spore is
Mm.
launched up right from the core and out into Animalia.
Mm.
And Alex and Zoe watch this vengeful god take action. And
Bow
now
down to the core, please, core. Stop
they say, we'll
it.
find a different sacrifice. Don't make it us, please.
Iggy,
But
come here.
Iggy! Zoe's like, I'll finally give you a smooch. You just have to stand right here.
Right
Yeah, no, don't worry about the
here. Like
flames.
run away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about the flames.
Or the stake that
They're
I'm tying
fine.
you
They're
to.
loving flames.
Yeah. The flames in my heart for you. But yeah, so as Alex and Zoe watch, stunned, naturally they look at each other and they're like, oh, this is a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
And we see Livingston's eyes twitch just a little bit. But then he looks at them
Mhm.
with a huge, toothy grin and he says, what? A problem? Why is that? There's absolutely nothing wrong here in Animalia. And the kids are like, yeah, my dude, my man, the core spore just like launched into like the stratosphere here. Like,
Yeah.
this is not great. And
Yeah.
Livingston brushes them off and says, oh, yes, that core spore. What a good thing to happen here today in Animalia. And before the kids can continue their protest, the zebras say, well, looks like we should be settling in right here for the long haul. And they walk out.
Oh
And
God. Oh
Reedy
no.
comes in and after one look around says, oh, well, don't things look just great in here? And she looks back at the library and says, oh, not even a single book out of place. And we, the viewers, and Alex and Zoe see that books in the library, as Rini says this, are actively disappearing. Like one by
Oh.
one, just like not dissolving, not just like falling over or anything, just fully
Just poof.
just poof right in front of them. And
Oh.
Alex and Zoe run to the shelves and quickly
Well, that's
realize
true.
that it's only the non-fiction books that are
Oh,
disappearing.
good Lord. Oh, that's not fair. Come on.
Alexis, what is a post-truth world anyway?
Burn all these fiction books. We don't need them. They're all lies anyway. What is fiction but not a detailed, descriptive lie?
If I didn't write it, it simply can't be nonfiction. I, the dictator.
Yes. Every dictator is 100% accurate all the time and truthful. Wow. Oh, this is okay. Okay. Okay.
This is
Okay.
dark. This is dark. Dark episode.
One more time. Okay.
May I say it one more time? Okay.
I'm here.
Alex and
I'm
Zoe.
following.
I'm here, but I've also disassociated since last week. I'm gonna be frank with you with this show.
Yeah.
I'm physically here, spiritually, I'm far away.
I'm here so that this half of the screen has
It's
something
filled.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So words are coming out, but
Yeah.
who am I anymore?
Cool. Cool.
So Alex and Zoe run from the library back to Reenie and Livingston, they were already acting, pretty weird, but they're acting even more weird as Livingston brightly says to Reenie that she's just absolutely the laziest librarian I've ever known. And she
Mm.
tells him
Oh,
with
that's
as
nice.
much joy that he's just absolutely Animalia's worst leader they've ever had.
Oh,
And they
okay.
notice the kids and they're like, oh, we wish you two would just go on and get out of here.
I'm sure their parents do too, but okay. Um,
Yeah, Alex is like, I've heard that before. I'm unfazed. Just kidding.
So he's like, yeah, fucking same. Me too.
But no,
Uh,
Alex and Zoe are hurt, obviously, by this and are kind of freaked out. So they dash out of the library and sit down on the front steps. And here, unfortunately, things take an even weirder turn yet again as Tyra walks up to them with a big smile and gushes just how happy he is to see them and how he just every time they part ways he just can't wait until they meet again and that they should really pencil in lunch sometime soon because he would love to get their always helpful insights and thoughts on his businesses and plans.
mm,
So this is
mm.
the camel that broke
The
this,
upside
or the
down.
straw that broke
Yeah.
the car. This is the children's back
Yeah.
here. This is an upside down
The
situation.
children's back. Oh God. Wait, real quick question. So are they all talking and like relying in pleasant voices, or are like the tones shifting? Like
No,
the
it's definitely like
tone that they're
it's voices as if it would be genuine. It's voices as if like what they're saying would be good. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah. So when
well,
Rini says, "We wish you weren't here," she says it like happily, like,
like
"Oh, we wish you kids would just get out of here.
yes, exactly.
We love you guys."
Yes,
Because I guess
exactly.
because to me, then it wouldn't make sense for Tyrannicus to also lie in a positive voice. Like he should be saying, God, we should get lunch sometime. Like I
Yes.
would love to hear. Like I feel like they should both be flipped, but I feel like these writers didn't think about that and just made them all sound happy. So
And
I just had to
I'm
know.
I'm glad you're bringing this up at this point because I thought about like
Yeah.
diving into it at some point and then I was like, I can't. I simply can't. Of what exactly this like rule is
Yeah.
in how people speak. There's no
Mhm.
rule.
Okay, cool. Good.
Like it gets
That's better than them
in
trying to shoehorn one in.
it's like including the question does become do people realize that they are lying or are they
Yeah.
just do they believe what they're saying is like the truth and
Yeah.
it's so confusing because the answer is both.
That's a like super and it, as a writing thing, that's hard to write too. Like you have to make a decision
You
and
gotta stick.
commit for consistency. Yeah.
Yes, and they
So
do not.
good, you know? Not surprised.
Can't say I'm surprised, mad, or disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
I'm just
disassociated. Remember, I'm
disassociated.
just here. I'm just here. So, okay. Okay.
All right, so good for them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, the kids at this are freaked the most out. And so they get
Yeah.
up and like dash out of the way. When they slow down, they're like, is this like, okay, is it opposite day that's happening right now? Like
Mhm.
Livingston and Reenie are being mean while Tyra is being nice. But we can't trust what anyone's saying because this like isn't any of them.
Yeah.
And we just don't know what the truth is right now. And like you
Yeah.
obviously clocked, That's when they remember what Livingston said, that yes, the truth spore is what left the core, and that it left because of all of the lies that were being told on the he said, she said situation, all
Yeah.
these rumors, et cetera, et cetera.
Again, pretty
And
fragile. I mean, like, yeah, they were
this,
lying, but it was only like a 5 minute interview.
you know what? If anyone ever said God was not a fickle beast, they're lying.
They're lying, and this show proves it.
Yes,
God's got thin
exactly.
skin. I feel like I'm gonna get struck by lightning just saying that, even
Just gonna get
jokingly.
smote right on this fucking show.
Yeah.
So, yes, as they're walking through Animalia, they overhear other animals all speaking in lies that just aren't making any sense. They're all like starting fights, kind of like people are
Mm,
disagreeing, like it's getting weird. It also
yeah.
starts to get like really cloudy outside and like kind of some, like maybe perhaps some smiting will happen as well. There's some like distant
Oh, yikes.
lightning. And this is also when it like gets really confusing because we see the one of the reporters on TV saying like Big Brother style, like, I hope you're all out there ready to enjoy a beautiful sunny day outside today, everyone. And so again, like the
Hmm.
peppy voice
Yeah.
delivering the happy lie news. I don't know. This is just the beginning of the
Yeah.
confusion. And yes, this is when they also realize that yes, it was the nonfiction books disappearing from the library. So
Okay.
not only are people straight up lying, but perhaps any form of truth seems to be disappearing as well.
See, but what is truth?
What
I,
is truth? Animalia is wanting us to ask.
yeah, I mean, to me, it almost seems like they're equating opposites with lies, you know?
Yes, and I think that's why they added
But
in the nonfiction books and a thing that's about to happen to show like
yeah.
it's not just that, and later on we see that it's not just opposite. It was just like Rini and Livingston and then Tyra, like Tyrannicus doing like opposite type of lying because that's where it, again, gets
Okay.
really fucking confusing is that just truth is
Yeah.
disappearing. Any
Gotcha.
ability to have truth appear in any way, shape, or form is disappearing, which again, is this the fabric of the universe that this core is
Yeah.
controlling, pulling the
Which,
truth
like,
thread right out?
what is the
What
truth
is
dimension? Is
truth?
that like the eighth dimension? I don't
Yeah,
know. Which one is which fabric
right.
of our reality is
If
truth?
if there is no truth, who am I? What are
Who
you?
am I? What
Do
am
I
I?
still
Am I really
exist?
Alexis? Do I
Yes.
actually have to pay rent here? Is
Cognito
this, can
ergo
I just,
sum. Like, I think, therefore I am. Yes or
oh,
no?
wonderful.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. Because what
Like,
if that was a lie?
everyone starts looking at their hands and paws and just starts like fading out.
Who am I? Just becomes the Matrix. Like the world
Yeah.
around you just turns into the Matrix letters. Oh
Right. I said we
gosh.
see like all like the numbers and letters in the back.
Yeah.
But
Huh.
they do find a way to test basically actually what you were just saying of like, is this an opposite situation or is this like an attack on truth? What a
Actual
loaded
lie.
statement in
Oh,
2020
good
fucking five.
Lord.
I know watching this episode, I was like, are you kidding me?
Here we go. Here we
Here
freaking
we
go.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been building up on that roller coaster. We're going down.
Yeah, we're crashing down. Here it comes. All right.
But I will say it's very smart and very funny that in your last episode, Zoe was playing on her like cell phone and
Yeah.
like writing. It's kind of like a PDA, like a little Palm Pilot situation. And
Hmm.
apparently, what she's always doing on there is journaling. And so they get out her journal, which Lex says, what is truth? Because these represent her truths.
Oh no. She had to get super exposed in front of her friends. Okay, sorry.
But luckily, because it's some form of truth, all of her entries have been erased. None
Wow.
of them are there anymore. So they run back to their friends, Gabubu and Iggy, and they quickly see as well that they are also not telling the truth. And like, it's not even just an opposite thing, just like insane answers to questions that don't make any sense, like these types of things. So,
Okay, okay.
you're trying to find a rule.
Yeah, I
around
mean,
truth?
I was,
Because
and then I stopped, which is why I said,
Alexis,
okay.
what is truth?
I don't know. I don't
Is
know
it
anymore.
Zoe's truth in her diaries?
Yeah, it's like
Is
my truth
it
is not your truth, is not their truth. So I don't
exactly,
know
so
what
do
truth
all of
is.
my truths cease to exist as well? Who
I
am
think
I?
so.
Where am
Yeah.
I?
Where am I? What
What
am
am
I?
I? So
Nothing.
nothing. And I will say at this point, I've been thinking this too, and finally it dawns on Alex and Zoe, like Spider-Man meme style of like, wait, how do I
Mm-hmm.
know if you're telling the truth? How do I know if you're telling the truth
Oh.
or
Oh,
lying?
wait. Yeah. Why is it not impacting them?
How do we know if it's not impacting us? What I don't know if I'm lying. I don't know if you're lying right now. How do we
Yeah.
know? So they decide. I'm like, first of all, everyone needs like, clone protocol in place at all times. You got to know if
I
like
know.
what questions do you ask for a clone?
Exactly.
Now,
There's got to
what
be the
questions do you ask
secret
here?
question. Yeah.
Exactly. And it looks like they may have talked about this because
Oh, good.
they immediately test it. Zoe says, Alex, do you like my shirt? And he says, no. He says, Zoe, do you like my shirt? And she's basically like, that is the ugliest shirt I've ever seen in my life. And they're like, phew,
Okay.
okay, no
Okay.
lies
It's us.
here.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. Yeah.
good. We're telling the truth.
Alex is like, wait, so you have been impacted. So he's such a narcissist. He's like, oh, she has to be. She
He's just so
has to be
stupid about
lying.
social
Yeah.
interactions.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, Zoe, oh no, it's got you
Oh no,
too.
Zoe, how can I save you?
I'll
I can't do
protect you,
this
Zoe.
alone. Yeah. He's like,
Yet
no,
again,
damn it.
I
I'm
must
telling
be
the
the
truth. I hate
hero.
your shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoe, please. It hurts more than it hurts you more than it hurts me to see you like this.
Yeah.
So,
Poor
yes.
guy.
Now basically they're like, great, we need to find this core spore situation. But
Hmm.
how exactly are we going to find it? Because if we ask anyone, they're just gonna lie.
Lie. Yeah.
And this is when things again start to get really fucking confusing about the rules about this core spore, this truth spore. Like
Yeah.
they ask Iggy if he saw one flying through the sky, and he's like, nope. Which does that then actually mean yes? Or
Yeah.
if he didn't see it, would he like, so is that the opposite?
Yeah.
But then it
Like,
becomes like when I was saying
did
earlier,
he
like you could
actually see it? Like what like in the actual episode, I'm trying to remember.
no,
Did he witness it?
we did
Or
not
do
see him witness it, but it's like
okay.
if
I
if
like
he
I
if he hadn't seen it, would he have had said yes? Or like I don't know. It just gets very confusing quickly. That
yeah.
one's more clear, but it's like if you would ask a zebra, "Hey, what color is that stripe?" Instead of saying black or white, they would be like orange. And you're just like, okay, so it's
Yeah.
not the opposite, just everything is a lie. Does it mean maybe he saw it, he just doesn't know what direction it went? Like
Yeah, right.
they
Right.
can't trust a single word to be like they don't know the
Yeah.
extent of the truth and
And
lies.
right. And I feel like for that question in particular, did you see a core spore fly out? It's like, well, I mean, like you have to know who you're asking because
Yes.
if you don't know where that animal was when it happened, then it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they actually could be telling the truth if they say no.
Right,
Because
exactly.
you're
And we
like,
still
I
don't.
wasn't watching you do like when the core spore flew. I don't know if you saw it.
Yes. And that's why I think the rules are very confusing again of like people's consciousness of whether or not they're lying. Because later on,
Yeah.
it's like someone is purposely saying stuff very, like saying lies in a very certain way that you can get to the truth. I don't know. It just is very confusing. That one
Yeah.
was maybe a bad example
Yeah.
because it was like yes or no. But basically,
Yeah.
like, for like, they go talk to like Allegra next. And
Oh God.
she says, no, I did not see a core spore fly east. And so it's okay,
So
wait,
it
so did you see a core spore? Yes. And did you see it fly?
and it flew east, or did you see it and it flew west?
Yes,
Or did you
exactly.
not see it at all and you're just throwing in the east
And
thing? Is that a red herring or is that just like adding to the
yes,
lie?
exactly. Like, what
Yeah.
thing should we be taking as the lie we should focus on for the thing that will
Yeah.
help us scour this enormous jungle
Yeah.
to
Filled with dangerous
figure?
animals.
Yes,
who
well, dangerous
can't tell the
animals.
truth at the present moment. Yeah.
Yes,
So
who might say they won't eat us. Does that mean now or ever? But
sounds like a lot of work to write.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot. And that's why they
Yeah.
didn't come up with a rule. They were like, too hard to make a rule. Let's just make
Like
it
we're just gonna do
confusing.
whatever we
So,
think of.
yeah,
Exactly.
whatever feels good in the moment. But luckily, these writers had to contend with Alex and Zoe because
Oh.
what they decide to do is get out Zoe's cell phone and they
Hmm.
write down every single thing that gets said, which are all lies, and that stays on the screen. So after each thing that gets said, like I did not see the core spore fly east. Zoe and Alex write down alternate versions of the thing that was said to see what disappears. And whatever disappears is the truth.
Oh,
So they write
okay.
down,
Wow.
yeah, like Allegra said, the core spore like flew to the east. They write it down, it stays. So they say, okay, well, let's do cardinal directions. The core spore flew to the west. They write it down. Like Iggy says that later on. It stays on the screen. But they write the
Okay.
core spore flew north and it immediately disappears as soon as they write it. So they
Ah,
say, okay, the truth is that the core spore went north.
went north. Okay. Oof.
Yes.
Ugh, that's not a fun process.
It's a lot of brain power. It's a lot of this investigative
Yeah.
journalism right here, finding the
We're
truth as
watching it
much as it
happen.
evades you.
Exactly.
So they set off with Iggy and Gabubu trailing them and obviously not being any help whatsoever because they are also
Yeah.
lying. And yes, they are testing different lies and truths in the PDA, their like personal device along the way.
Mhm.
And luckily, as they're going, they're, casually discussing the nature of lying and ignorance, saying, ignorance hides in the dark and ignorance
Mm.
is lying. Lying creates ignorance. So if that's the dark, then the truth must be the light. They
Oh.
say in
Oh
all of the
gosh.
clouds, except for the single ray of sunshine bursting through one cloud, shining down upon godlike and perhaps on the truth spore, sitting right out
Mm,
there in the jungle beneath the single ray of sun.
great. Okay.
So they grab it and say, the truth spore will set us free.
Uh, okay. I
It's pretty good.
that was
It's pretty
good.
good.
Yeah, that was a good one. I got to give him that one.
They got
I
one good
wanted to
line for
hate it, but I
episode.
could not hate
Yeah,
it.
it was
This
good.
is this is the truth spore bringing out the truth in me. I couldn't lie about hating that
Powerful.
pun or that
Don't
joke.
deny our God,
See,
Alexis. Don't deny our core
I bow
God.
down to our powerful core overlord God.
So, yes, they grab the truth spore and run back to town. And just in time, too, because while they were doing that, let me tell you what Tyra has been up to.
Oh boy. Really?
And this is where, again, I'm like,
What are
who
the rules?
knows? What are the rules? Who knows that they're only can speak in lies? And is it
Yeah.
Tyra because he's the biggest liar of all? That
Mm,
he can still only speak in lies, but he seems to be able to harness it for his own use.
yeah. In which case Livingston must be panicking, like just going crazy
Livingston is
somewhere
just
because he
the
like
biggest
can't lie.
brainwashed
So
one of them
yeah.
all. So,
Uh,
yes, basically, Tyra goes back to the news studio and goes to Ron Burgundy, if you will, our
mhm,
mouse reporter. And he
mhm,
leans into him very conspiratorially and says,
mhm.
I don't have an idea that if you were to air it, absolutely no one would tune into at all. And the mouse says, please don't go on. So again, like
Mhm.
the reporter also knows that they can work in
Yeah, it does.
lies.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't
again, do
know.
they think they're saying what they think they're
Right,
saying
but it just comes
and they don't act
out.
and it comes out differently, in which case, like internally they're processing things and externally they're not.
Yes.
Like, do they know that they're saying what they're saying? Can they
Yes.
actually, like, is it
Right.
like
They
a
think they're
spell?
saying, I have a
Yeah,
story
like
that
almost like
everyone will turn
hypnosis in a
into.
way, you
Yes, but
know?
then it comes out. I don't have an idea. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, because they're like saying it with the tone as if it was the
Yeah.
other
Because
things.
it would be one thing I could see Tyra gaming the system or like having
Yes.
the cunning ability to like work around it.
Liar's
But Ron
mind.
Burgundy, absolutely
A fucking
not.
idiot.
In fact, he actually meant like,
Please don't go
I
on.
don't tell me. Yeah, like don't go on. Yeah. And
Well,
then
that means
Tyra
I'm gonna have
starts
to get a
talking and he's
scoop, do work,
yeah,
put
that's a
down
lot
my
of work.
cheese.
Every
I don't want that.
everyone's confused right now. I don't really feel like doing that. And
Yeah.
then Tyra goes on and he's like, oh, oh,
What
oh,
did I just
okay.
say? What did I
What?
just say?
Yeah. What did I say? Did I say to go
Who
on?
is this?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just
I'm confused. I would be with Ron Burgundy in this case. Let's be real. I don't know what's
yeah. I just want to
happening.
eat cheese,
Yes,
you know?
always,
Not think
any
hard,
time
just
of
eat
day.
cheese. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
Tyra says, well, actually, no, hold on. Sorry. I should have finished this thought. I just got distracted by your great theory. Because Tyra says,
Oh, yeah.
haven't you not noticed that no one is telling anything but the truth? AKA,
Uh,
he. See, it gets immediately by the next line more
Yeah, because
confusing.
now they're doing the double negatives. So it's
Yeah.
like you have to do word math to figure out
Right.
what
Like,
he's
no
saying, and
one.
then you have to do philosophical math to figure out what all of what's going on.
Yes. Again,
It's
what
too
is
much
the
math for a
truth?
show about the alphabet.
T is for truth.
Just leave it at that. Man, Uh, okay, super quick tangent. Imagine how I love this show. I like this show, PBS. You're great. We love you,
We
PBS.
love
But
you.
imagine how much cooler this show would be if every episode was just based on a letter of the alphabet, like
Yes.
something like, or a
Like
core
that
store
animal
that
starred
lined
in
up
it.
with exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No,
okay.
instead, we're questioning truth. We've got
Truth.
yellow bellied press. Like,
We've got
it's,
dictatorship. We've got
yep.
political civil war conflicts. We've
We've got
got
religion, God,
yeah,
separation of
God, I
church
don't
and
know,
state,
the freedom and like the Bill of
propaganda.
Rights. Yeah,
Yep.
inherent rights of animals and humans. Like, I don't, all
Yep.
right, cool,
All right,
cool.
cool. Cool. So
Okay.
Tyra goes on to say, well, we probably shouldn't ask Livingston about all of these truth tellers everywhere. And
Mhm.
moments later, we see Ron Burgundy and the Mouse Film Crew, burst
Mhm.
into the town hall and do some classic ambush journalism, like shoving the
Mhm.
mics in Livingston's face and firing off questions as they immediately broadcast live
Yeah.
across all of Animalia. And look, even with even without this like lying situation happening, Livingston could have used some PR training. Like, never respond to the
Yeah.
ambush journalism. Like, no comment, call my office. Like,
Yeah.
we'll put
I mean,
out a
we saw how he
statement
did
later.
last week in my episode where he's like,
Yeah.
I am the government, and then admitted he lost his wallet, which I
Yeah.
didn't mention it then, but at that point, that sent the public crazy. They're like, he can't even find his wallet. How is he going to protect us? And Tyra did actually say, like, I could be a better leader, basically, like he was planting the seeds to like take over. So I didn't mention it last week, but it even more so ties into
Let
this
me tell you.
episode than yeah.
He not
So
only planted those seeds, he has been cultivating that garden. Okay. Because
building a
Tyra
resistance.
comes in right after this news crew, and Livingston, again, instead of just saying, call my press secretary, like, they'll talk to you. No comment. No
Yeah.
comment. Livingston goes, look, look, look. I hate my job. And I find all Animalians annoying. There's
Bro.
not a single one of them who doesn't just
Oh, that's
bore
right.
me
He's lying.
witless.
Ugh. Yikes. Yikes.
So the animals, who I guess also don't know that others are lying, of course,
Yeah.
collectively gasp at this. All of the residents are, my pearls! All of the residents are outraged. And Tyra jumps onto the camera now and gets in the game here. And he asks Livingston, so, Livingston, what do you think the best qualities of a leader are that you see in yourself?
Hmm.
So, of course, he starts listing a bunch of bad traits about himself of like lazy, dishonest, oversleeps, doesn't care about their people, like that kind of stuff. But it sounds
Hmm.
like he's just talking about himself. Like, I, Livingston, am lazy, oversleep, don't care about my people.
Oh.
So
Gotcha.
he is playing right into Tyra's trap, which again,
Yeah.
Tyra has realized the game here somehow.
Yeah. And it
So,
also makes me wonder, where do questions fall into this whole thing? Because you say Tyra asked a question and it sounded like there wasn't anything like truth or lie in it. It was just like, what makes a great leader? But then when you
yeah,
think about it, like a question isn't a lie or a
right.
truth. It's just
Do
a
you
question. So
want to
can
know
you
this
just,
answer?
yeah, exactly. Or I mean, you can even like put a lie in a question, but it still doesn't make the question a lie. You can be
Yes.
like, hey, President
Is my shirt
whoever,
pink?
are you, yeah, exactly.
Like,
Like, hey, Livingston, is your tail actually long? Or like, is
right.
your tail, like you like is your
Yeah.
tail actually cut off, Livingston? Would be a
Yeah.
better way, I guess, because it's clearly not, but like it's a
Yes.
question, it's not a lie.
Yeah.
So,
So do you always just have to speak in question then?
in
And then
questions,
technically
yeah.
there's not a lie?
Yeah. Like we're doing
I
now? Is this
exactly. I don't know. Please help me. Please save me.
I'm so confused.
I'm scared. So, yeah. Livingston's playing just right into this trap. And yes,
Hmm.
Tyra's finally reaping what he sowed. And he says, so, working through that question loophole, what you're
Yeah.
saying, Livingston, is you think you should resign and allow me to take over? Question mark.
Mm.
And Livingston says, yes.
No. I mean, I know he says yes, but I'm saying
Mhm.
no because I don't want him to say yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And they
Ugh.
both just like a beat goes by and they stare at each other for a second. And I think like Livingston's eye just twitches again because, again, like
Yeah.
deep in
He's like
his
trying to
soul,
fight it.
yes, he's like trying to break out because, like you said, he cannot tell a lie, Livingston, and yet is being forced to. And Tyra, I think, takes a beat because he's like, wait, it
Hmm.
worked? Hold on. That was so easy.
Oh my God. Sorry. That answers the thing about the newscaster then. The two most lying people or animals in Animalia are Tyra and the news. So
In the news.
that's why Ron Burgundy understood why it was working or
That's
why
why he knew how to fucking get
that's
through it.
why.
And
Yes,
he could
because
come in here
then
and ask questions.
exactly. That's
What
it.
is truth?
Okay.
What
We
is
answered
truth?
something in this show. And
You
also,
answered.
if that is true, good on the writers, because that's super deep cut. That's a
Yeah,
very deep cut and
I
a
think
deep
the writers
message.
knew. I think you're absolutely correct. I think
Yeah.
the writers were like, who are the two that will know how to work this system?
Hmm.
Boop and
The
boop.
two who lie all the time. That's how you get.
Mm,
Okay. All right.
I know. Grim.
It feels
Grim.
good having like some explanation, but yeah, for that to be the meaning
The
behind it
reasoning.
is sad. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But
Hmm.
the kids run in at this moment with the truth spore and they put themselves right in front of the camera, holding the spore out and saying that this truth spore has basically made us all lose the truth and has made us, everyone in Animalia, lie all day.
Hmm.
And Tyra, of course, pushes them aside, saying basically, like, none of that matters anymore. Livingston has already named me as the leader, which is interesting
No need to
because,
recount the votes or anything, everyone.
yeah,
Keep it moving.
which again, a couple things of one, like, this is a dictatorship. Livingston could just name the next leader. Like, there is
Yeah,
no voting process. It's not democracy, as we
that's
learned in
my
your last
knowledge.
episode. So, like,
Yeah,
this could be as good as actual law. He said it. He's the
yeah.
dictator. Who's
I
going to go
guess
against
unless the
him?
core disagrees, the core, that's
Yes,
it.
true.
But I mean, what even is the core? We
What
still don't
even
know.
is the gore?
We
We
don't
don't
even
know.
know.
Is it a false
So,
god this whole time?
whole time we've been lied to. That's why the core is not shooting any spores out anymore because it too is just lying.
Yeah, exactly.
All
It's
the
like, ooh, I'll stay quiet right now,
That's it.
which is
You don't know
smart.
how to
Instead of
deal with
just
this.
saying a bunch of lies because you can't tell the truth, just stay
Hmm.
quiet. Just
Exactly. Just sit back and
quiet.
read the room and assess the
Yeah,
situation.
exactly. Listen
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Exactly.
But Zoe and Alex are like, all right, we're not going to be able to like muscle him out of this type of thing. So they're like,
Yeah.
great, Tyrannicus, sir. Let's do your first in-office interview then, so we can see what type of leader you plan to be. Because if anything, a great leader is honest. How about that?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Tyra is like, of course, which to me then
Mm.
means he does not want to do this fucking interview because he sees what they
Exactly.
are doing.
Yes.
So they say, Tyrannicus, first question, are you a tiger?
Oh,
He
it's
says,
like intense 60 minutes interview. Anderson Cooper. It's like a dimly
it
lit
goes to like,
room, just
they're both in
Tyrannicus
like
on
the
one side of the
chairs.
chair. Exactly. Like
Zoe and
legs
Alex have like a
crossed.
single like little packet of paper each. Tyra
Yeah.
is just drinking like a coffee and has a bottle of water
Yeah.
next to him.
Exactly. Legs crossed, looks very
Yeah.
casual, just
It's
enjoying,
actually
like,
like a
get ready,
green
ready for a
screened
softball interview.
office in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. First question, super serious, everything. The
Yeah.
dramatic, like news,
Doo,
breaking
doo.
news interview
Yeah, like
music
the 60
starts.
minutes, like talk,
Yeah.
talk, clicking.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, Tyra, are you a
You're a
tiger?
tiger.
Hard hitting
They
questions.
really fill in the B-roll with like a lot of pausing from like Tyra, like drinking some water.
Wiping some sweat off of his
Goes
brow.
back to
Yeah.
Zoe just like staring and Alex just shaking his head, taking some notes.
Yeah. One
Tune in
little clip of
tonight.
like Livingston tired though too, because they do have to like kind of address that. Yes, there is a conflict going on. He is tired, but look, this guy just sipping water, death. Can't even answer if he's a tiger.
Also, my other thought was I'm like having like that same tone of the hard-hitting question of like, are you a tiger? But it's like on Hot Ones.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know why you asked me that question after the hottest sauce here.
Oh man, this is
Got some milk for
it's a
me,
tough
maybe?
one. Yeah.
That's a big
Like
question.
crying,
Yeah.
sweating, nose dripping.
Yeah,
That's
Ashley's just really freaking out.
why would you ask that right now?
Well,
Okay.
all questions to ask me right now. Okay, okay. But yes, Tyra, of course, goes, I'm a hippopotamus, okay?
Oh, oh.
And then, so they have that noise on 60 Minutes, very
Yeah,
professional.
that's Zoe. Alex asks the question. It's like, again,
Wrong.
we're gonna do Parks and Rec references as many weeks as possible. It's like Jones gotcha. Jones gotcha button.
It's also so funny you say that because earlier when I was saying that Zoe's the PR manager, I was thinking of the campaign manager in Parks and Rec.
Yes. Yes, one of my favorite characters in that show. I'm not saying he's a dog killer, but these raise questions like, is he a dog killer?
Like that's absolutely Zoe in this
Yes.
show.
Oh man.
So yes, but very confusingly, Tyra looks kind of stunned that he said that, as if, see, exactly. But I think he just never had he's not ever had not control of the narrative before, so he like doesn't know how to do this ambush reporting turned back on him, perhaps.
Yes. Yeah.
But yes, across town, all of the animals start laughing at this because they can see that this ain't true. They can see this is some bullshit.
Yeah, they know.
And then they ask, have you ever overcharged your customers? Which I don't remember exactly what Tyra says. He kind of like fumbles around it because, again, his truth is no, he hasn't.
Oh,
Everyone else's truth is yes. But Alex very cleverly goes, sorry, wait, actually, what I should have asked was, right now, do you want to and will you give back all of the money you've ever overcharged your customers? So, of course, Tyra says yes. He's still lying.
I love it. Yeah.
He looks like he's in pain now as he's like,
yeah.
So again, like he does know he's lying. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yes, the kids are like, Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Like,
Jones, gotcha.
Zoe,
The gotcha dancers come out. Yeah.
They're Allegra's Gator girls.
Gator gals.
Gator gals.
Yes.
And Allegra, probably.
Anna, yeah, she would be there too.
Yeah.
Any chance to be on TV.
Yeah, be on stage here. But
Yeah.
yes, the kids are like, all right, that's what we thought. And they hand Livingston the truth spore, and he places it back into the core. And
I totally forgot that they already found that. Why did they not put it in as soon as they got back? Like,
they
deal
wanted
with
to
that
make
other shit later.
Tyra look like a fool. Zoe was like, look, no one's going to believe us unless we have proof on TV.
That's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is my campaign now. We're going to get him.
We have to bury the enemy.
We don't just
win. We bury him. We're ending his career. He'll never run for another office.
Right here, right now. Long live the dictator.
Long may Livingston reign. Great.
So yes, we see
smart girl.
Hey, she fucking knows her shit. Remember the first episode? She's like here to seek restitution from Alex, like direct quote from her.
Yeah, it's straight up. She was ready to file that lawsuit. She already had the blueprint, the template. Yeah, she just had to fill in Alex's name and the specific charges.
Exactly. Done. Name, date, specific charges.
Yeah.
So yes, throughout the library, the nonfiction books return, the clouds clear, Zoe's journal entries all come back, and everyone's able to tell the truth, their truth, yet again. Yes. And that's the end.
Wow. Wow. Great job.
Thank you.
You did a great job. That what even is truth? You know, the
I've learned nothing
today.
from this. I would say.
Yeah.
Is what I took away.
Started this episode and ended this episode as the same woman. Nothing. No character development whatsoever.
Growth.
No growth.
Absolute stagnation.
Perhaps even some backsliding, maybe.
I may have backslid, yes.
Yeah.
You are correct.
I might be a little less sane at this moment. So yeah, thank you, Animalia. Yeah, wow, that's interesting. Really
take us through it.
I love all of the little hidden messages in each episode, but I just feel like there's too much other stuff going on for kids to actually like learn from that. Like, I don't think that kids who are like 10 years old, who were 10 years old watching this, are now, I guess, that's 20 years or so later, 30 years, our age. Like, if we were watching this at that age, I don't think we'd grow up now and be like, man, remember when that episode of Animalia said that we just got to like speak the truth all the time? Like, I got to be like Livingston or whatever. Like, I can sit here and think of like things that happened in an episode of Hey Arnold that I'll be like, oh man, yeah, that was such a heartfelt moment or whatever. I learned that lesson.
Yeah, because like in this, it wasn't like lying had punishment. It was like, okay, so lying took this truth spore and it left, and then just everybody lied, but we didn't like see anyone actually like cause true harm, except like someone who was a better liar was able to use lying to get what they wanted. So if anything, you can use lying to get what you want.
Lying is okay. Yeah.
And then Alex and Zoe tricked Tyra. Isn't that lying too? So the moral of the story is that lying was fine.
Yeah, well, and to me, it seems like the moral of the story is truth is subjective.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's what I leave this episode
in the most
thinking.
Convoluted way.
Yeah, like that's possible. What it all boils down to. Is that your truth is different from their truth, and people's ability to tell the truth impacts how much they lie. Like, I don't know. Like,
we don't know.
The truth is subjective.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I've learned. Which is not a good thing. I mean, it's true, but it's not a good way to teach about the truth.
But is it true?
Is it true, though?
What?
That's subjective.
It's subjective, God.
No.
God damn it. You know.
Well, great.
Well, between now and next week, when who knows what the fuck's going to happen. Alexis, who should our listeners and viewers tell about this show?
I don't know.
Have I even ever met anyone before? What are people? What are relationships? What are my fellow man?
What even is a show? What are they going to watch? I
don't know. How do you even tell someone something? What do they hear? Do they hear what I say? Or do they hear what they want to hear from what I say?
This week, you should tell you should tell a friend of yours who's always just kind of like stretching the truth.
Ooh,
okay. It's like, how sometimes you hear a friend tell a story from the past and you're like, I didn't. Like, I wasn't there.
Quite like that.
Quite like you let them maybe do it, have their moment or whatever. It's not hurting anybody, but like, there's always that one friend who kind of exaggerates a little, embellishes.
Fisherman tells the story, and the fish is always an inch bigger the next time they tell it, type of thing.
Exactly, until it's like a whale. Yeah, it's like, buddy, that was a tuna. Anyways, who should they tell?
I think you should tell your friend who cannot break rules. They're just so
your
honest.
Narc friend.
That they just simply cannot break a single rule. It stresses them out too much. They are just too honest that they could never. And both of them will be just confused by this episode. So
exactly. They won't know who they are because they will also learn that truth is subjective.
Exactly. So what are the rules anyways? What really happened in that story? Know. No one will ever know. And on that note, till next week. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.